Hello? Nani mwenzangu?
Yes, hello. Jambo kiongozi. Unaongea na Simon na tumeona hii shamba yako iko na nafasi nzuri sana ya kuwekelea transformer. Na sisi tuko tayari kukupea 3 million Kenya shillings kama leasing fee.
When the deal is too good, think twice.
Lakini kitu moja inanishangaza na wewe.
Hii ni kuhatarisha maisha yenu nyi wenyewe na pia ya wale mnaenda kutokea kwa manyumba zao.
We are diving into the mind.
Stay vigilant to get safely and legally connected to the power grid.
Koti hii imewapata na hatia na mkiwa mkuridhika na uamuzi wa koti mko na siku 14 za kurudisha apili.
Kenya Power hailipi mtu yoyote kulispace ili kuweka transformers kwa shamba. Hakuna mtu anafaa kupigia for any deals.
Kwanza nakata hii simu na naripoti sasa.
Tumekuja kuwashika. Muda boss utamulikwa. Tumekuja kuwashika.
Good afternoon. This is Lunchtime News, and to kick us off this afternoon, well, before we kick off, our sign language interpreter is Susan Thuku. My name is Jackie Wambiru. To kick us off this afternoon, Narok Governor Patrick Olentutu is currently appearing before the Senate County Public Accountants Committee over audit queries. This comes just 24 hours after the Council of Governors resolved that governors would no longer appear before Senate committees. Let's cross over for the latest.
A case study and has evidence that counties can do this if the resources are transferred to them. So, Senator Ledama, then we get the governor's response.
Just briefly, I think it's a no-brainer that KERA contracts to subcontractors. They don't have their own equipment. So when you say that counties don't have capacity, a lot of these counties are buying equipment. Narok County, Uasin Gishu County, they have equipment. So really this conversation, it is upon us now. You know, and when you look at the Constitution, Article 187 is very clear in terms of cooperation between national government and county governments. If a function is better carried out by one level of government, then by no means that level of government should be allowed to do that, carry out that function. So in this case, when it comes to those rural roads, I think it's about time we do away with KERA and just move the money to the counties.
Chair, just one word. My late boss used to push very strongly for devolution, that all functions should actually be devolved, and it is one of the things that we agreed on in the MOU. But according to him, the reason why the national government doesn't want to let go of those functions is control of the resources. It's the money. Because they are the ones who determine those contractors. I hear they give friendly members of parliament some of those contracts to execute. Of course, people like myself will never see any of those contracts. But it is about control of the resources. So if we are going to have an honest conversation in this country about devolution, you first of all have to have a national leadership that believes in this thing called devolution. Not people will go around saying that counties don't have capacity to be able to do this, these things. Thank you, Chair.
Governor? Honorable Chair, you see the problem here is classification of roads. Which road is for Kenya Roads, Kenya Rural Boards Authority, and which ones are county? They have never done that. The 3 roads that that have been mentioned by the auditor, Masandare Junction or Olunga Senda, that cost us about 82 million. These are roads that I have tarmac, and the auditor can confirm that I have finished and actually commissioned The other one is Nerejengare Junction, which actually connects also the Nerejengare Center. And the most important one is Masai Mara University Road. These three roads, as long as I remember, and I know the senator from Narok also remember, these are roads that have always been maintained by the former defunct county council. And you follow suits. Even the 10 years of the former governor, they have always maintained those roads. So when I came in, they were really in bad state. And we had put money because the Nerejengare and Ololonga, those are very fertile areas in terms of agriculture. And we need the farmers to move their produce from that center to the main road. When you talk about Nerejengare, it's a road that connects between the highway, Bomet, Nairobi Highway, to Nerejengare. That is where the center is where all these wheat farmers, potatoes farmers bring their produce. So when that road is not maintained, and I'm waiting for the national government to do anything, if they have ever done, for 2 or 3 years, I mean, there was a lot of outcry because farmers will not move their produce from one place to another. So for me, I think, and I think the auditors will agree with me because they have visited there, we have done very nice tarmac road, 1.4 kilometers. Another one is 2 kilometers, and I think the other one is also 4 kilometers. That is almost around 12 or 10 kilometers that I have done. Tarmac, and well maintained, and our farmers are happy.
Now, Governor, just to close this, in terms of Kera, Kura, Kenha work plan, annual work plan, to what extent are you involved as a county government of Narok?
We are not involved.
So even Kera that is working on county roads does not involve you in their annual work plan for roads?
Mostly they talk to the MPs.
They talk to the members of National Assembly. But you are the governor. These are county roads. So why are your colleagues in Mombasa, in Kilifi gossiping instead of dealing with these things? Surely.
Chair, maybe to assist the governor, which I rarely do, is that when you have that discussion, can you believe of National Assembly is given a free money by Kera of 40 million and another special allocation called special funds to choose their road of their wish. So I agree, Governor, even when we were having debate on road maintenance levy fund, and unfortunately the former...
Well, that was a Narok Governor Patrick Olentutu appearing before the Senate County Public Accounts Committee over audit queries. We now move on to other stories. Devolution Empowerment Party has called on the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission to ensure it conducts free, fair and transparent by-elections in Momenji and Evurore wards in Embu County on February 26th. The seats fell vacant following the resignation of MCAs Newton Karish and Duncan Mbui to contest for the parliamentary by-election in November last year.
The Development Empowerment Party calls for free and fair polls comes following scenes of fracas during the mini poll, which saw the commission faulted for failing to arrest the chaos.
I personally, I gave the account to IEBC a week ago about what happened, and I hope they are going to rectify.
In Laikipia County, UDA lawmakers, led by woman Representative Jane Kagiri, began popularization campaigns of the party ahead of the grassroots elections scheduled for 7th of March.
His Excellency William Ruto ameturudishia heshima yetu Laikipia na akarudishia uhai wetu huku Laikipia, watu wetu waache kuliwa. Mimi namaanisha kutoka kwa roho yangu.
Elsewhere, Mumia's East lawmaker Peter Salasia has lauded the Court of Appeal's ruling on NGCDF, saying the fund has enabled children from poor families to access education.
When Kibaki devolved this money is when Kenya ilianza kuona mwangaza. Ndio watu walikataa kuanza sasa mambo ya harambee katika mashule ilisimamishwa.
Give us Maina, Lunchtime News.
Alana with special needs can now join grade 10 after well-wishers stepped in to finance her secondary education. 14-year-old Quinta Nyango, a grade 10 learner in Kisumu, was admitted to St. George Secondary School in Kisumu after receiving support from Good Samaritans. Quinta, who has special needs, was living with her mother in Kenyago informal settlement, Kamkunji constituency. Through the intervention of a Kenyan foundation, her school fee was fully paid and she was provided with school uniform and learning materials.
Nilikuwa na shida mtoto kwenda shule. By the way, alikuwa anasoma Heshima Primary School, Heshima Road. Sasa imefika mahali watoto wameenda shule, mtoto yangu amekwama kwa mlango. No otherwise. Nilimwa box and mattress. Sasa school fees hakuna.
Nifanya mtihani, alafu nikakuja nikakaa huku nyumbani. Mamangu hakuwa na pesa ya kunipeleka shule, hakuwa amejitayarisha, alikuwa amebuy box na mattress peke yake. Alafu hizo vitu zingine alikosa. Sasa nikamwa nitaka home hadi siku atapata. Mamangu alifanya kupiga simu kwa Simon Mbugua Foundation amsaidia ili niweze kuingia shule. Tayari nishavaa uniform kila kitu niko nayo, nimebaiwa, niko tayari kwenda shule.
Underprivileged secondary school students from Rabai constituency, Kilifi County, have benefited from an education scholarship worth 600,000 shillings from the Simba Cement Company. While lauding the initiative, parents say the sponsorship will go a long way in cushioning parents while ensuring their children go through school. The Deputy Commissioner for Rabai, Daniel Cheriot, urged parents to encourage their children to work hard in their studies while urging other investors to emulate their example.
Sisi tulikuwa tuna uhaba wa kifedha kiasi cha kwamba asingeweza kuchukua hawa watoto wetu, pengine tungekosa kuwapeleka shule kwa sababu ya ule uhaba tuliokuwa nao. Lakini tunashukuru sana kwa sababu ya hayo aliyoweza kutufanyia.
Ushirikiano mzuri ambao tunatazamia uendelee. Na kufanya hivyo basi tutakuwa tunaendelea mbele na tunajenga community ya Kambi.
Management offered scholarship program to 10 students in the Kambi ward, which is approximately 600,000 that is going for 1 year.
Walibeba hilo jukumu, wakawa na roho ya uzazi na wakasimama na Dr. Oguru ili kusimama na watoto wetu ambao walikuwa wamekaa nyumbani kwa sababu ya shida ya karo. So wanaendelea kutusaidia, so tunashukuru Mungu kwa hiyo nafasi.
Still on education, Kamkunji constituency residents will continue to benefit from 1 year free education in public secondary schools come next year through bursaries, as the area member of parliament, Yusuf Hassan, rushes to decongest public schools before sponsoring others with free-funded secondary education next year. The MP who held the Kamkunji constituency Women Empowerment Program meeting urged more youth to register and benefit from the ongoing Kamkunji Technical College Free Courses program to enable them get opportunities in the job market. This as he called on Kenyans who have not registered as voters to take advantage of the upcoming mass voter registration exercise to register as voters to ensure their voice counts in the 2027 general election.
Katika shule ya Kamkunji Secondary School, day scholars, wote tutawalipia karo kwa mwaka mzima. Tunataraji kufanya hivyo hatua ya pili. Zawadi Mixed Primary School pia watoto wote watalipiwa karo. Watoto 1,700 sasa hivi hawako mtaani, hawataingia katika uhalifu, na katika miezi 6 watamaliza masomo yao na tutawapatia nafasi ya kujifanyia kazi wao wenyewe. Na wale madereva ambao watafuzu, kazi ni nyingi sana ndani na nje ya nchi.
More than 1,000 needy children in Isiolo have received essential sleeping kits in an initiative aimed at improving their quality of sleep and overall academic performance. Education experts say children who do not get enough rest are often sleeping in class leading to poor concentration and low performance. To address this challenge, over 1,000 children were provided with sleeping kits consisting of mattresses, mosquito nets, bed sheets, utensils, school supplies and other bedtime necessities. Each kit valued at $40 by a foundation. Education stakeholders praised the initiative, noting it would significantly improve the welfare and learning capacity of the children. Sleeping Children Around the World is a Canada-based charity founded in 1970 that provides beddings to children in developing countries.
More organization to come here in Isiolo. You know, here is where we have the very desperate, very needy children, and if they are needy, this society will not go far.
And we have come to bring bed kits, including a sleeping mattress and other things for the wonderful children from Kenya.
A missionary, we call it a missionary area, missionary diocese, where we rely a lot from help from donors all over the world. So we are really grateful that these our donors all the way from Canada have thought in Kenya, but especially also here in Isiolo, to come and bring this wonderful donation.
It's very encouraging to see friends from all over the seas coming to help our children in northern Kenya.
An artificial intelligence-powered clinical decision support system is being piloted in Kiambu County as part of efforts to integrate technology into public healthcare services. The system is currently undergoing a pilot rollout at Thika Level 5 Hospital, where healthcare workers have begun training on how to use the tool alongside routine clinical practice. The system, known as Medref AI, is designed to provide clinicians with real-time evidence-based medical references aligned with Ministry of Health treatment guidelines to promote more consistent and accurate bedside decision-making. Speaking during a training session, the project's clinical lead, Dr. Wasena Angira, said the system incorporates data protection measures, include encryption to safeguard patient information. He noted that similar digital tools tested in other facilities have been linked to reduced clinical errors and improved workflow efficiency for medical staff.
The Ministry of Health protocols and put it in a database, and therefore it's easier for clinicians to check on anything as far as the MOH protocol is concerned, and then it helps them to make a clinical decision at the point of care. So with the AI, you're able to query, and then it will give you an answer. That will significantly enhance the patient care.
60,000 girls in primary and junior secondary schools in Kericho County will benefit from free sanitary towels courtesy of the national government. According to Kericho County Commissioner Mwai Gisheru, the initiative targets to enhance menstrual hygiene and ensure that no girl misses class during her periods. Kericho Women Representative Beatrice Kemei said that the program will go a long way in supporting the vulnerable girls to ensure that they are not taken advantage of sexually. The two were speaking at the County Commissioner's office during the flag off of 198,476 packets of sanitary towels.
To buy sanitary towels.
Teenage pregnancies is even connected with the issues of not having the sanitary towels, so that our girls are being cheated that I will buy for you this and this. So I want to thank the government of Kenya for the same. However, these are very few, because today we're going to give 3 packets per child, or per child. And these 3 packets will only take 3 months.
61,907 pupils who benefit from this exercise, and we are distributing a total of 198,476 sanitary towels. This one is targeting to have, these pupils have what we call menstrual hygiene, and ensure that they attend school on a daily basis.
Still on health matters, a section of Kiambu residents have benefited from a free eye and ear screening medical camp The camp was held by the Kiambu County Department of Health in collaboration with the Tel Aviv Embassy in Kenya through the Salvatore's San Frontier. The initiative is targeting school-going children and the general public. The lead of the Israeli medical team, Miriam Dahan, said the initiative is part of ongoing efforts to promote child health and support early detection of hearing-related conditions. The outreach is taking place at Kamango Orthodox Church, Lusigeti Orthodox Church, Nyeri Primary School and the Gio Primary School in Nachu and Day Awards.
We will be giving them glasses. We will be sending them from Israel. Same as hearing aids, we will give them today. I understand there are already 7 who need hearing aids and they are giving to them. I hope we are going to help as much as we can. And I hope we will have also future cooperation with the county.
Now, in other news, Malindi Member of Parliament Amina Mnyazi has backed the shoot-to-kill order on criminal gangs by Coast Regional Police Commander Ali Nuno. The lawmaker, who spoke during a site handover for the construction of hostels at a vocational training college, said the criminals maim and kill innocent people with machetes, and that it is time the law took its course, while criticizing human rights activists for what she is calling selective activism. Mnyazi urged parents to warn their children to desist from criminal activity, adding that failure to do so might have deadly consequences.
Wewe kama unajua mtoto wako ni mtovu wa nidhamu na anasumbua huko nje, mkanye. Maana yake ni kubaya. Kama oda imetoka, mjue mimi kama kiongozi sitaingililia ile kazi. Activists walikuwa wako wapi? Yule mzee akiuawa na vijana wa vipanga hakuweza kuzungumza masuala kama haya. Let the police do their work. Tumechoka.
Usalama ni amana kuliko kila kitu. Usalama ikiwa mbele, kila kitu inaenda sambamba. Si ndivyo? Sawa.
Over 4,000 people from Kitui and Machakos counties have benefited with a free medical camp from Kenya Defence Forces doctors. Dr. Major Emmanuel Walime, leading the KDF team, said the exercise is an event which began 5 years ago through a partnership with the foundation. The head of the foundation, Elijah Kilil, said the medical camps benefited the communities who often turned up for health services.
Tumeomba KDF family tusaidie kwa hii exercise ya free medical camp. Tumekuwa tukisaidiana na KDF na County Government of Machakos kupeana matibabu ya bure. Tunasaidia wagonjwa mambo ya kupeana dawa, tunawapea dawa, na pia mambo ya x-ray pia tumekuwa tukiwafanyia tukiwa hapa Kivyoko. Na pia ingine tumeweza kuwalink to proper care ambao wengine tumewatuma for referrals in various facilities.
Nashukuru sana sababu nimetibiwa, hata wakati mwingine walikuja nimetibiwa na nikasikia mzuri sana.
Residents of Kijabe and Matathi areas of Kiambu County have lauded government efforts in the completion of the long-awaited Mau Mau Road, whose construction is now underway in the region. The locals say the long-awaited road marks a major development milestone, noting the area has endured decades of poor infrastructure that hindered the region's economic growth. Speaking during an interdenominational prayer service seeking the safety of road users in the newly constructed stretch, residents who are predominantly farmers said the road network will ease access to essential services, including markets, saving them from the wrath of brokers who initially took advantage of inaccessibility in the region.
Takuwa hizi na juu sisi ni wakulima, chakula chetu kilikuwa kinanunuliwa kwa bei nafuu sana, juu wanunuzi walikuwa wanasema kujia hapa ni ngumu.
Tumepata pesa ya kutosha kumalizia hizi barabara, na hii ambayo inaenda Mai Mahiu itaisha by the end of this month. Mwisho wa mwezi huu tutakuwa tayari barabara yenyewe imefika Mai Mahiu, na ni kumaanisha kwamba itaweza kufungua hii area yetu vizuri. Wakimaliza Mai Mahiu, bado tuko na sehemu zingine upande wa juu ambapo watakuja kujenga
That report brings us to our first break here on Lunchtime News. Don't go too far, we still have more news coming up.
Tumaini hawezi kukubali mtoto asiyekuwa wake, na ndio maana nakuhitaji.
Hapo awali mimi nilimjua mke wangu, lakini nimempoteza.
Mimi sitaki mtoto kutoka kwa baba yako. Wasikia? Na kama wataka wakili wangu mwanike wakili wako, atafanya hivyo.
Niondokee, utashanga saizi. Hii si nyumba yako, usitaki kunifukuza.
Sasa nini?
Welcome back to Semana Spokes from Ganagava.
Semana Spokes is your platform to query the government, get answers, and understand what is being done in your country and across the nation. It's your time to ask, participate, and be informed. Don't miss Bonganagava every Tuesday at 8 p.m. live on KBC Channel 1.
So the polo event that we got to attend at the Nairobi Polo Club. From stylish outfits to thrilling polo action, it was a day to remember. You know, there were different stalls that were showcasing different things that are connected with fashion. Beautifully brought cultures together. It got to showcase unique and authentic designs crafted from diverse African fabrics. Call entertainment scene speedily twirls into a lucrative business venture among the young and agile Abantines. The group is made up of Israel Onyach and Yoya Tajiri, two artists who have grown into one of Kenya's most promising contemporary music acts.
Welcome back. The government is fast-tracking a major water and sewerage infrastructure project in the lower eastern Kenya as efforts intensify to improve access to clean water and sanitation. This even as coast leaders pile pressure on authorities over persistent shortages of water in the region.
Under the Kenya Town's Sustainable Water Supply and Sanitation Program, Machakos Township is among the key towns set to benefit from expanded water infrastructure aimed at boosting supply to growing urban populations. Once complete, the first phase of the project is expected to serve at least 150,000 residents in its initial year, with projections indicating the number could rise to 330,000 by the year 2040.
For dams and most water projects, is that they serve the lower upstream, the lower stream, not upstream. So for the upstream, we have done 11 boreholes, which are now in use, and are also benefiting Kenyans living in the outskirts of town.
The project, implemented by the Tana Athi Water Works Development Agency, covers Machakos town and surrounding areas including Muvuti, Kimutwa, Kimakimwe, Mumbuni, Katheka Kai, Mua and Mutituni.
We wish to clarify.
Meanwhile, governors from the coastal region are demanding the immediate disbandment of the Coast Water Services Board over what they term as persistent failure to ensure reliable water supply.
Ardhi yenyewe sasa hivi imechoka, hatuwezi tena kuendelea kuchimba visima na ilhali kuna njia maji kuweza kupatikana. Hatuyapati maji kwa sababu watu ambao kwamba ni wamezembea katika kazi zao. Watafutiliwe kazi nyingine, kama ni kazi kupatiwa watafutiliwe kazi nyingine. Hii kazi ya maji lazima kuwe na caretaker committee waweze kuingia, turegee kama vile ilivyokuwa ya kwa tunahitaji maji yaweze kuwa ni mingi katika maeneo yetu.
The leaders argue that despite repeated calls for improved service delivery, the board has not addressed the long-standing challenges.
The scarcity of water in these 4 counties is so bad that people don't even know where to get water to cook the little food they have. We are demanding that we get immediate repairs of the Baricho waterworks, where 2 pumps have not been working for the last 10 months.
Jacqueline Masharia for Lunchtime News.
Residents of Barambate, North Horr in Marsabit County have welcomed the sinking of water wells and construction of canals in their area by non-governmental organizations as a much-needed reprieve. The locals say the initiative has saved them from trekking miles each day in search of the precious commodity that is fast becoming rare amidst the drought. Now, the unavailability of water had also disrupted the education of the children, who can now comfortably stay in school and learn, as opposed to previous times where they were sent to fetch water.
To fetch water very far, 10 kilometers, which is 2-way, 20 kilometers.
Sisi zamani wenyeji wa hapa tulikuwa tunaenda zaidi ya kilomita 10 kwenda kutafuta maji. Sasa tangu Aviation imekuja, wametuletea maji kwa boma, sisi hatuna hiyo shida. Mama zetu wameacha kwenda kilomita mingi kutafuta maji. Sasa maisha imekuwa rahisi. Watoto wanaenda shule, maji unapata kwa kila boma.
The National Housing Corporation has partnered with Masinde Muliro University of Science and Technology to construct a modern lecture hall complex valued at 90 million shillings. The project aims to boost academic infrastructure at the institution and promote the use of innovative and sustainable building technologies in the education sector. The complex will feature lecture halls of varying seating capacities and an ablution block, with construction expected to be completed within 4 months. According to the National Housing Corporation, similar projects are being implemented across the country.
We decided to partner with the National Housing Corporation to build a modern state-of-art prefabs. This is not new in the world. It happens in America. It happens, for example, if you go to Europe, most of the houses are built that way. But we are talking of modern state-of-art. So they are going to build structures at the end of the day within 3 to 4 months. We will have an extra classroom for 1,700 students.
This will help in speedy implementation, just like MD has said. Instead of taking a whole year, that's 12 months, we expect to finish in 4 months. And I'm hoping that we'll be able to do more out of this.
Now, as Kenya grapples with prolonged drought and failed rains that have left over 3 million people facing starvation, agricultural experts are now championing organic farming as a sustainable and affordable solution to hunger. Speaking during a graduation ceremony for students at the College of Sustainable Agriculture for Eastern Africa at Kilimambogo in Thika, stakeholders warn that recurring climate shocks demand urgent reforms in how the country produces food. Executive Director of Sustainable Agriculture Community Development Program, Ngogi Mutura, noted that over-reliance on chemical fertilizers has degraded soil fertility over the years, leaving farms less productive and more vulnerable to climate change.
You know, the chemically produced food is already associated heavily with the ailments, including cancer. So when they produce certified organic food, the market is very wide and therefore the incomes are higher.
The question is on how to go about these resources, unlocking the potential, and I see organic agriculture as the path to go.
Nowadays the drought is becoming much and food insecurity is becoming a tragedy. You know, when we get this knowledge on agriculture, we can as well go out there and produce food for our people.
Now on to business news. Beekeepers in the Tana Delta are moving away from traditional beekeeping, which involved burning bees to extract honey, to more sustainable practices. The new beehives are producing higher quantities and better quality honey while ensuring that the bees remain unharmed during harvesting. Aaron Marie with the details.
Traditional honey harvesting posed a major threat to bee populations, as it involved burning bees to extract honey, significantly reducing their numbers.
We are conserving these bees, okay? Because we do not cut combs, we are not disturbing the bees, we are removing combs with minimum disturbance. We are increasing productivity of the beehive. Because when you replace this comb that is built with wax in this manner, and the flowers are still in season, the bees quickly fill the combs up with honey.
In Tana Delta Sub-County, Nature Kenya and African Beekeepers Limited ABL partnered to support farmers produce high volumes of quality honey while conserving bees through well-managed hives and increasing bee populations.
Africa Beekeepers is a business, and Nature Kenya has discovered that without business engagement in beekeeping, farmers don't get enough.
Through the partnerships, farmers receive technical expertise in commercial honey production and beekeeping.
We have a partnership with African Beekeepers Limited, whereby they provide that technical know-how in terms of enhancing production, in terms of honey production, which is beekeeping. And also critical to this grain value chain is the fact that they provide a market.
The new approach has seen increased honey production and improved conservation, as harvesting no longer leads to the killing of bees as in previous practices. Rukia Masha, a resident of Marafa, says production has doubled following the years of new beehives.
Wakati tulikuwa hatuna hiyo mradi, tulikuwa na shida mingi sana. Mtoto ukirudisha sisi kama wakina mama, wanaume ukiwaambia nini watoto wamerudisha nyumbani kwa sababu pia wanakuangalia tu, lakini venye tulianza hiyo biashara ili tusaidia sana.
Through the partnership, farmers receive technical expertise in commercial honey production and beekeeping.
Manake wanachama saa hii wanaanza kupata pesa. Wakipata pesa, wengine wanalipa kwa watoto wao wa shule, wengine wanajikimu kimaisha. Sasa tunaona maisha at least yanaanza kupanda.
Reporting for Lunchtime News, I'm Aaron Marie.
Travelers using key airports in the country risk facing disruptions after the Kenya Aviation Workers Union issued a 7-day strike notice to the Kenya Civil Aviation Authority. KAU Secretary General Moss Ndiema says the industrial action has been called after negotiations between the union and the employers seeking to address 7 outstanding issues which have been raised by unionized employees at the aviation regulator collapsed.
Address to media, and in that address we gave KCAA an ultimatum of 7 days. It is past 14 days since we issued that ultimatum. We've not been able to make progress in our engagement. We are determined. Our members will come out. And in any case, if in the initial hours the government does not direct KCA to do the right thing, we are going to mobilize the entire aviation. In short, there will be nothing aviation related that will move upon the commencement of our strike action.
Kenya is stepping up efforts to position itself as a prime destination for global capital supported by a stable and resilient financial sector. Speaking during a meeting with a delegation comprising international institutional investors from Stanbic Bank, Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi noted that Kenya is open and ready to do business, assuring international investors of the safety of their capital and the ease of doing business in Kenya. The engagement focused on practical ways to further strengthen Kenya's attractiveness as an investment destination and unlock new opportunities for strategic partnership ahead of the upcoming second common market for East and Southern Africa Investment Forum.
We value all our partners, all of them, and they've been with us since independence. And we would like to believe that each bilateral engagement has got its unique benefits for the country in one way or the other.
Bangladesh has reached a new trade agreement with the United States, securing tariff exemptions for select garments made using US-produced materials, a move aimed at supporting the country's crucial apparel sector. The deal comes as Turkey seeks relief following sweeping US tariffs imposed on global trading partners last year.
The White House says the new trade agreement between the United States and Bangladesh will strengthen economic ties by giving both countries greater access to each other's markets. Under the deal, Washington will lower tariffs on Bangladesh exports and allow certain clothing and textile products made with U.S. materials to enter duty-free, a significant boost for Bangladesh's vital apparel sector, which employs millions and drives most of the country's export earnings. Meanwhile, oil and gas giant BP has reported quarterly profits in line with analyst expectations, but the company has suspended its share buyback program as it wrote down around $4 billion in its renewables and biogas businesses. BP says it will redirect excess cash toward oil and gas investments, even as profits at its gas and low-carbon units exceeded expectations. The move comes ahead of new CEO Meg Neil taking the helm in April, following the abrupt exit of former Chief Murray in December. Finally, Africa's trade with China is growing, with coffee emerging as a key driver. At the 22nd Africa Fine Coffees Conference in Addis Ababa, farmers, exporters, and buyers discuss quality, sustainable, and market access. Chinese demand for African specialty coffee, particularly from Ethiopia and East Africa, is rising as urban lifestyles and cafe culture expand. Traders say this trend is creating new opportunities in logistics, roasting, and branding. Sylvia Gatti for Lunchtime News.
You can now buy or sell shares of companies listed on the Nairobi Securities Exchange on your smartphone following the launch of ZD Trader, domiciled on the M-Pesa platform. President William Ruto welcomed the launch, noting that such innovations are key in democratizing the public assets and revolutionizing how ordinary Kenyans participate confidently in wealth creation through the capital markets.
Market capitalization at the Nairobi Securities Exchange has more than doubled from 1.2 trillion shillings in 2022 to over 3 trillion shillings currently. Trading in equities is mainly dominated by institutional and foreign investors, who account for more than 65% of total trading. And now, Kenya is deepening trading by involving individuals who will henceforth have the portion of trading in shares listed on the Nairobi Securities Exchange on the M-Pesa platform.
GD Trader is a clear signal that Kenya's financial ecosystem has evolved, placing wealth creation within reach of millions. Trading on the NSE will no longer be reserved for a few. As I said, we are opening the doors to millions of retail investors.
Today's milestone stands as clear evidence that deliberate policy, strong leadership, and purposeful reform yield real and measurable outcomes.
The platform has been on pilot, during which the results have been very impressive. However, there were questions about the state of stockbrokers, if CDS accounts are still required, and if those buying shares on ZD Trader will be in the shareholder register of companies they invest in.
For a very long time, it looked a very complicated process. CDS account, brokers in between, and everything along the journey. And I did ask that it is important for us to find a mechanism where citizens, from the comfort of their phones, they can be able to buy shares and trade at the capital markets.
Expanding the group of people who have the ability to invest is central to realizing the full potential or power of our capital markets.
The launch of ZD Trader is expected to deepen Kenya's pursuit of raising cash locally to finance government programs, as well as eliminate the reliance on foreign loans or increasing of taxes.
Delivering this scale of transformation requires mobilizing close to 5 trillion. And we intend to achieve this without imposing additional burden on taxpayers or accumulating debt. That is precisely where our capital markets and platforms such as the Nairobi Securities Exchange become central to the solution.
President Ruto said the government is reforming the capital markets as a central pillar for mobilizing capital. Alan Alco, Lunchtime News.
A new assessment by the Institute of Economic Affairs has sparked fresh concerns over whether the Social Health Authority (SHA) system is delivering as intended. IEA says while SHA's operational significant design and implementation gaps are undermining its effectiveness. Addressing the media in Nairobi, IEA Kenya Programs Coordinator John Mutua singled out inadequate funding as the biggest challenge in the implementation of the health scheme. The assessment further revealed funding gaps in the primary health care fund and the emergency chronic and critical illness fund. IEA has also expressed concern about SHA claims, management and fraud.
I mean, no doubt SHA is working, but what we can see, given the challenges that undermine its effectiveness, it is not working as desired or as intended. And that's why I was mentioning that if the government or SHA itself addresses some of those challenges, the first one being the funding gap. And the funding gap, the idea is just to increase compliance rate by engaging in continuous media outreach or better communication of the need to register and to sign up for means testing. And also, remember, compliance only goes up when people can see the visible benefits.
And now in the sports arena, the president of the Alliance of Independent Recognized Member of Sport, Stephen Fox, has called on Kenya and other African nations to establish structured programs for retired sportsmen and women aimed at prioritizing their health and well-being. He was speaking during the ongoing Open Masters game in Abu Dhabi, where Singapore's Terence claimed gold in the men's 35-plus age Muay Thai category.
The inaugural Open Masters Games Abu Dhabi, graced by participants from 90 countries, entered day 4. Key highlight of the day was the Muay Thai event, which saw Singapore's Terence Teo clinch a gold medal in the 35+ age category. Mehmet Selic of Turkey settled for silver after a spirited run to the final, while Shaikh Azharuddin of India and Kasim Sebowa of Uganda shared the bronze medals following closely contested bouts.
The winner and gold medalist is Beekeeping.
Honestly, I used to be very big, so because of Muay Thai, I lost 16 kg, yes, and then I got in love with the sport, and then I continued and started fighting.
Meanwhile, Stefan Fox, the president of the Alliance of Independent Recognized Members of Sport, has urged Kenya and other African nations to initiate programs to support retired sportsmen and women.
There's still too much more work to do in Africa, and we as the international federations, we have to work very, very hard to ensure that we give the youth of Africa's opportunities to shine on the world stage.
The clarion call that has been made towards the hosting of the traditional Emirati Games is the instilling of cultural values to future generations and the preservation of cultural legacy. Reporting for KBC Channel 1 from Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates, my name is Frederick Moke.
Now, Atalanta overcame Cremonese 2-1 in Bergamo. Nicola Christophes opened the scoring in the 13th minute, followed by David Zappacosta at 25th minute. Morten Thorsby piled one back for Cremonese deep into the stoppage time at 90+4. Now Roma defeated Cagliari 2-0 at the Olimpico Stadium. Daniel Malen scored twice, first in the 25th minute and again in the 65th minute to secure the win for Giallorossi. In La Liga, Villarreal outclassed Espanyol 4-1 as Georges opened the scoring at a 35th minute, followed by a Jose Salinas' own goal at the 41st minute. Nicola Pepe added a third at 50th minute. Alberto Moleiro made it 4 at 55th minute before Leandro Cabrera netted Espanyol's consolation in the 88th minute.
Support on the overlap from Cardona, helps to go infield. Great work, great strike. Villarreal within 5 minutes have made it 3-0. Attention we've seen certainly in the second half from Luis Jr. And that ball is in the back of the net. Straight from the corner kick, I'm not too sure.
Chelsea hosts Leeds United at Stamford Bridge tonight in the Premier League, looking to build on their recent resurgence after a 3-1. Matches Everton entertain Bournemouth, while Tottenham Hotspur take on Newcastle United. In Italy, Napoli face Como in the Coppa Italia quarterfinals. Well, that brings us to the end of our bulletin this afternoon. Thank you for watching. I'm Jackie Wambiru. Sign language interpreter is Susan Thuku. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Mambo ya kuungua na moshi ambapo mke tuko naye huyu. Nishakwambia wakati wowote, saa yoyote njoo, na kama una njaa mwambie Amina chochote unachotaka kupikia. Huyu ni kama bibi yako pia.
Unaweza kuwa wewe ni mzuri, uolewe na mwingine bongolala. Siwezi kutoka siku moja nikupeleke picnic. Uende ujionee, jionee hata tupitie mahali kama hizo zinauzwa.
Sasa leo wewe wananiambia twende mimi na wewe picnic. Wataka kunivunjia nyumba yangu masanduku. Taona naye ulimletea bibi hapa karibu.
Bibi nani?
Mimi je?
Yaani mimi sijui kumbe Mashanuku ashakuoa. Baba hawezi kutoka mpaka leo nimchafue sura.
Hapana. Hapana.
Jinsi ambavyo binadamu anahitaji lishe bora kwa ajili ya kukua vizuri, basi ndio hivyo kwa mifugo wako. Wanahitaji chakula bora, sio tu chakula. Wiki hii kwenye Mkulima tunaangazia Junkao, lishe kwa ng'ombe wako.
Hii nyasi inakuliwa na wanyama wote. Sungura, nguruwe, ng'ombe, mbuzi, kondoo, hata pia kuku. Protein yake iko between 16 and 18%. Ni kama kulisha na dairy milk. Kila siku.
Ungana nasi kila Jumamosi saa 10:30 hapa KBC Channel 1 kwa mseto kamili wa kilimo.